Why is there no story as an adult in the bouncy house? I don't know. You know what? Maybe I'll try it next time. Well, here's the thing. My family is a clan of cursed swamp people. We never freaking learn. The bouncy house is just not a good idea. I think the idea is like when you have a family reunion, a family gathering where, you know, anywhere from like 7 to 15 different nuclear families under the Nuring name come together. You know, the adults just want to drink and catch up and eat and stuff like that. And there's like kids, and then they think like, oh, I don't want to take care of the kids. I don't want to force anybody else to take care of the kids. Why don't we just get a bouncy house and then they'll entertain themselves, right? That's the idea behind it. So when I was a babby, a wee little not a literal baby, but I don't remember how old I was. I think I might have been in the ballpark of 6 or 7. Jimmy was like still Jimmy was not really talking, but he was like not a baby. Anyways, Jimmy gets in there too. He talks in this one, which is very, very rare. Anyways, all right, so Jimmy was sentient and he was running around and he would occasionally talk, but not that much. Okay, so bouncy houses, you could rent them out, but one of my uncles had this bright idea of, well, why don't I just buy one used and then we cut out the middleman. It's just good every time we have a family gathering, right? So we set up in this like this beautiful picnic spot, nice hilly area, and they set up the bouncy house on top of the hill. They had the compressor pump, get it up there real quick. They set up the tables. There's like a picnic and stuff like that. And then all the kids, including me, were jumping in there and we're having a grand old time. So here's the problem, right? That uncle bought it used. I don't know where he bought it from. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you need guy lines. Do you know what a guy line is? You need to rope it down. You need to like tie it to a rope and then stake it down into the ground. The person that my uncle bought the bouncy house from just didn't give him it, so he just didn't realize that you need that. So they pump that sucker up and then all the kids are bouncing in it. Do you see where this is going? It wasn't guyed down to the ground, right? And then a nice stiff wind hits it while me and maybe 4 or 5 other cousins were in there bouncing. And it just whoosh, it just takes off. It's like rolling like a 5-sided dice down the hill. If you can imagine me, like at first it's I'm like bouncing, baby Randon is bouncing up and down in that house, and it's like the sad clown music is like, and then suddenly it's like I'm in a giant, it's just like I'm in a giant dryer, you know, and it's that cyberpunk music, and I'm like bouncing around. It's like smashing into my cousins and stuff like that, like we were hitting the ground. It was fun. So the next part of the story comes from my sister. She said that she was present at the food table when the bouncy house just tried to make its escape, and all of the adults just started sprinting. They're like, "Oh God, no!" And they're sprinting for the bouncy house. Right? So they get down to the hill and they're worried that, you know, like there's a couple fatalities. None of us were hurt. None of us broke any bones. Nothing happened to us, right? Because I do think that like a couple of us like hit the grass because the bouncy house was like tumbling downhill. And you know, there's cushioning at the bottom, the floor, and then there's cushioning on the roof. I remember the roof. I slid into the like that little V of the roof a couple times, but sometimes it would hit that window area, the side, so you could hit the ground. And I do think that like a couple of us hit the ground, but it was fine. We're kids are tough. They bounce, right? They get to the bottom of the hill and they secure the bouncy house. No concussions. They extract all of the kids, including me, and then all of us were like, "That was awesome! Oh my God, that was the best!" It's like bouncy house on steroids. That was the best thing ever. So this is the end of the story. they're checking us for concussions and broken bones, and all of us are just gushing. That was like the best bouncy house experience that we've ever had. And Jimmy, who's a baby, I think he was like 4 or 5. I think he was 4. Jimmy was hanging out with our mom, going to the bathroom, and then he came back and he sees all of the kids, right? Like, yeah, we were so hyped about the bounce house. He started crying because he got the FOMO. Jimmy had the intense FOMO, right? And he was so angry. I remember he was like, we have to do it one more time. I have to experience it too. We have to do it just one more time. And then of course the adults were like, no, absolutely not. He just started crying. He would not stop crying. It ruined his entire vacation weekend. He was so angry that he missed out. Anyways, so that was bouncy house story number 1. You should try one of those inflatable hamster ball things. I'm telling you, my family, we're not the brightest, we're not the sharpest tools in the shed, so we would definitely suffocate a child if we had anything like that. Anyways,